back to the Sunshine Show. I'm your host, Susanna Sutherland. Now, you all know that I'm a big supporter of staying healthy, but a fan's video sent to me last weekend gave me food for thought.
Oh, hi. I'm a Kev. Big fan of the show. I've been eating more greens and stuff, but I have a question. Should I really be eating locally? Like, if I can get it for cheaper, shouldn't I take advantage of the opportunities? By the way, big fan of the show. Yeah.
Thanks for the video, Kev. You raised a very important issue that I cannot answer with a simple yes or no. That's why I have a very special guest here today to help us with this dilemma. Please give it up for Johan Norberg, a Swedish author and historian.
Pleased to meet you. Thank you.
Now, Mr. Norberg, many people will recognize you from documentaries and even novels that you have written. For those who don't know who you are, what is your perspective on protecting local economies?
Please, Susanna, call me Johan. Now, my perspective may seem like capitalistic nonsense, but please follow what I'm going to say regardless. Protecting local economies does nothing but harm both developed and developing nations. Take, for example, the European Union's Common Agricultural Policy, or CAP. It is designed to protect European farmers from competition. Sounds nice, doesn't it? In reality, this competition is from developing countries who cannot enjoy that rich Western lifestyle. CAP brings a huge surplus of food as well. And where is this food dumped? In the same developing countries who are yet again being undermined. The West preaches about capitalism, yet they are acting like hypocrites. They are just breeding anti-West sentiment from their economic nationalism.
Insightful thoughts, Johan. Please keep them in mind as we bring out our next guest, Helen Nor...
It's Freedom Spirit Willow now.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let's give a round of applause for Freedom Spirit Willow. Freedom, what is your perspective on protecting local economies?
The environment and the economy can become one, Susanna. When there is protectionism, both economies and the government benefits. Urbanization of farmers to cities results in a population that was poorer than before.
That is completely false. Urbanization allows farmers to move out of their social class and become wealthy. Take China, for example. What were they a couple decades ago? A communist regime that stopped any trade to and from the Western world. They were, in a sense, protecting their own economy. Now, with those economic blockades destroyed, China was able to rise and become a wealthy country, rivaling even America as a superpower.
Mr. Nuffborg.
Mr. Norberg.
Mr. Nerfblog, I disagree. Where did you even get your facts from? Maybe people in China, especially in the country, are starving and cannot make enough money to feed themselves despite all the hard work they do. Free trade is all about letting in the few become rich and the majority become poor. Those families making a living in the city will only succumb to famine and poverty. On the farms, at least they can grow their own fruits and livestock. In the cities, they have nothing.
Freedom, if trade liberalization is not the answer, then what is?
Easy, Susanna. Protectionism. That doesn't mean stopping all trade, but rather producing more items locally. It is such an easy thing to do, too. Westerners take more than their fair share of products. Other countries do not even have a chance. 50% of the population is rurally based. It's vital we keep this percentage. Without the farmers, we would have no food to survive off of. Not to mention this would aid the environment and decrease climate change drastically.
How would just protectionism stop environmental pollution? It is still going to occur, whether there's protectionism around the world or not. Those developing countries that are going to benefit will be actually harmed. They will be slaves of the tariff. Systems like CAP will force poor farmers to export fruit, but not jam. Western Europe is living off the backbones of poor Eastern Europeans because of the European Union.
Oh, and so corporate greenwashing will make all the difference? Moneymakers care nothing about the environment, nothing about love, and certainly nothing about peace.
What has that have to do with anything?
Alrighty, let's move back on track. Johan, your hatred of tariffs like CAP may seem alarming to many everyday people who see it as a good way to keep separate countries protected. How do you defend your position?
It seems like I cannot get my ideas through to the hippie over there. Or you, Susanna dear. The best way I can describe it is with this little clip. According to the UN Conference on Trade and Development, EU protectionism deprives developing countries nearly $700 billion USA dollars in export income a year, 14 times more than what these same countries are given in foreign aid. EU does not only affect developing nations, but European ones as well. EU's protectionism costs its citizens almost $1 billion USA dollars every day. With this money, you can fly all the cows in the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, 60 million cows, around the world, every year in business class. There would still be money left over to give each cow 3,000 USA dollars in pocket money to spend in tax-free shops during storms.
I understand where you're coming from, Mr. Nerdborg, but such a well-to-do man like yourself can only see the economic side of things. Can you not see how only the West is developed, yet the poor strives to make a living? Like I've said before, protectionism of local economies allows only a specific region to grow and develop. Free trade just swamps them with horrid competition from other countries. Protectionism also allows an individual's ecological footprint to decrease substantially. What uses less fossil fuels to create and transport? A t-shirt produced all the way from China, or a t-shirt produced in a local home. Mr. Norberg, you cannot disagree with me on this logic.
Or the fact you pronounced my name right.
And that's all the time we have on the Sunshine Show. Join us next week for a special episode on how to survive if you were attacked by a stampede of overweight camels. I'm your host, Susanna Sutherland. I love you!
Moo.